This was our first meeting of the 2020 to 2021 gardening year at the Lakeside Garden Club, and we had with us Master Gardener Lynn Walker Beveridge, who spoke to us about succulents. It was a really good talk, but your new president had some trouble with all the recording stuff in the Zoom. So she first showed us a slideshow, and she had some nice music, but I didn't get the music. However, we have the slideshow, but then I missed the first part of her talk, not very much. The download is available. Just send me an email or it's on our Facebook page. But meanwhile, here's the recording of Lynn Walker Beverage and Succulents at our club back in September.
Most of mine are in big pots. And the reason I put them in pots and not so much in the ground is my yard is not real big. And these plants, all of these plants, little of them, reproduce like rabbits. These are the fuzzy ones. And they also have a pretty little orange flower, which I've cut back. And this one's got too much sun and it's not happy with it. And this one's getting northern exposure and getting too much sun. But we had those couple days, it was like 100 degrees. Whoops. That's one of my little things inside. But there's hundreds and hundreds of different types of succulents. But the Kalanchoe family has the most. I think I already said that. What else didn't I say? You can use all of these plants as house plants or outside. But if you use them as house plants, you're going to have to give them lots of sun. They have to have lots of sunlight. So if you bring them in the house, be sure you get them where they can have light next to a window or whatever. But these leaves is where they store a lot of the water. That's why they're thick leaf. That's why the leaves get sunburned. Some of them more so than others, as I was trying to show you here. The main thing where people kill these plants is they either overwater or underwater. I think that's the main thing. Any plant gets killed. So be sure you let it dry out, but you don't want it to be, separating from the pot and so dry. You want to have it watered and you want to fertilize on a regular basis. I usually fertilize about once a month. And I use, what do I use? I use either an organic fertilizer, which is a pellet, or I can use fish emulsion. I don't like to use chemical fertilizers. And one of your other speakers were saying how she didn't like chemicals. I don't either. And I don't like chemical fertilizers. Miracle Grow will make your plants look really nice and green, but they'll have a shorter life. And it's really not, it's like feeding your plants junk food, in my opinion. So I like fish emulsion, or they have pellets that are organic, any type of fertilizer like that. And you should do it at least once a month, and maybe even more often if it's in a pot. And you need to, like lately, I've been watering so much because it's hot. So I've been fertilizing more because I know these plants are not happy and I'm not happy with all the heat. So I can imagine that they're not happy. All of your Kalanchoes bloom. The Kalanchoe family, they all bloom. And usually the flowers come up in stalks from the plant. These need to be trimmed back once a year. So you need to be sure you trim all your spent flowers. They are the easiest to transplant. You just need a 2 to 3 inch cutting and you can stick it in the ground and it'll just make a new plant. They're very, very easy to propagate. No problem there. Okay, the other thing I was going to tell you, when you use your clippers, every time you prune anything, you should use this is just an off-brand, but like Lysol wipes that for bacteria, because you can transfer so much bacteria on your clippers from plant to plant. So if one plant has a little bit of any kind of a virus or anything, you're going to be transplanting it to all your plants. So be sure you wipe your clippers after every use. This is I know they're not as easy to find now because everybody's with this COVID-19, but these are just disinfectant wipes. These are for bacteria and viruses. Okay, do we have any questions? I see I'm getting things in chat here. Is there anyone for me? No. If you'd like to ask me a question, I can answer any questions. And you'd have to unmute yourself.
Oh, you said you trim off the flowers. When do you trim them off?
When they're done blooming.
When they're done blooming?
When they're finished blooming. See these here? This one's done.
Higher.
Okay. See how this one right in front is done?
Well, that one still has flowers.
No, this one right here.
Oh, that one we can't see.
Oh, this one right here. This one should go.
Okay.
And this one, if it just has this one little bit of flowers, these are all really pretty ready to go. They're, except for that one on the top here. But when they're finished blooming, then they should be pruned. And if they get sunburn like this one, it should be, all that sunburn leaves should be pruned off too. I am waiting till it's not hot any longer. So probably another month I'm gonna then prune it. Because if I pruned them now, it would grow no new leaves that would get sunburn again. So you wanna wait till we're finished with all the heat and then do that.
Can you grow them from seed?
Sorry. What?
Can you collect the seeds and grow them from seed?
You know, I don't know. I've never done that because they just come up. When you cut it all back, it'll grow new things underneath. So it'll, I put some of them in the yard with this one, with the one that's the most popular Kalanchoe, this one. And it's just taken over a whole area of my yard. So just a word to the wise. This is a really good house plant too. I see these everywhere. Vaughn's has them, you know, Home Depot, everybody, and they're very, very popular.
What's that one called? Hold it a little higher.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and they have different colors. They're red and yellow and white, and I think. And this other one is the same thing, only a different leaf. See how small this leaf is? See the leaf? This is a little bigger leaf, but very similar. But you asked me if you wanted to grow them by seed. I don't think it's really necessary. They propagate themselves. Look at this.
Yeah, that one does. I finally got rid of all of mine.
Me too. Could you tell us a little more about those red flapjack things they're just gorgeous. I managed to kill one, so.
Yeah, here's those. They do have a flower too that comes out. And this one isn't really red. I've seen some of them redder. This one has, I mean, see, look at this. All these in this little pot. Look at all the little ones I have. I mean, I don't think there's any of these succulents that doesn't reproduce really fast. I had planted one in here, and actually I've taken them out and given them to people. So I'm waiting till it's cooler, but if you want some for your fill-in, I have some of these.
We absolutely want some. Let me unmute Eileen. I see that she's got her hand raised.
Okay.
She definitely
coming up.
she wants those.
Okay, who's Eileen?
Eileen is our
I'm Eileen.
in charge of the
Oh,
post project.
Okay.
I would love to have some of those.
What was your question?
No, I didn't have a question, but I would love to have some of those for the post office project.
Sure, no problem. I gave Kitty my phone number, and if
Okay.
she can give it to you, or you can email me, and just let me know when you want to come by, and we'll just get a clipper and go out and prune everything.
Fantastic. Okay.
And hopefully my blue agave will give you some pups. I just pulled a bunch of them out because they're really beautiful, I think, but I don't have enough room for them to keep propagating. They're in the ground.
Don't they have stickers on the leaves?
Yes, they do. You don't want?
Yes. They don't want anything that's got pointy stickers on it.
Okay, well, they have pointy stickers, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the agave attenuata.
Okay, yeah, I know which one that is. I don't have that one. Didn't say is that when you plant these, they do like to have drainage. If you plant them in the ground, you know, I don't know what kind of soil you have there, but I have clay. And so I've been putting soil on top of it for a long time because it's not a good drainage. They like good drainage. And in your pot, sometimes even the cactus mix is good because it has good drainage. That's very important. They don't want to sit in water. They'll rot. Okay, any more
That's probably
questions?
how I managed to kill a few is I have clay soil, so I had to make better drainage for them. You
Yeah.
said if they're outside, that fertilizing once a month, is that year round? Or I don't want them like growing in the summer, do I?
You know what? I always just kind of look at my plants and see how they look. Do they look real healthy? Then I might not fertilize them as often. And if sometimes they're looking like they could use a little pick-me-up or something, then I'll give it to them. These kalanchoe basically are mainly cooler weather plants, even though they do like the sunshine. I say cooler weather for San Diego County. So they're better in the fall, the winter, and the early spring. They don't like the really hot summer. They get burned. And in fact, I was telling you earlier, my niece lives in Arizona and she can't grow any of the succulents. They just burn. They don't like that constant heat. So we do get cooler here.
So probably not wise to fertilize them in the summer then.
Right. Probably leave them and try to plant them places that I wouldn't do your western exposure all full of succulents if you get a lot of sunshine. And I know it's been really unusual this year. We had days up here that were 100 degrees, like 3 or 4 days in a row. It was miserable. My poor plants were very unhappy. I tried to bring them into the patio to get them some shade, but they don't like that real extreme heat. Who does, right? Does anybody else have questions?
What's your favorite?
Mine?
Mhm.
I like this one. Although this one doesn't like a lot of sun either. And it has the fuzzy leaves and it has pretty orange flowers. But it's not liking the heat lately, and so it's not doing its best. You can see the ends of it are kind of burned. I know all my burned plants.
What is that one called?
You want to see it?
What's it called?
What's
I don't know it's in the kalanchoe family, but I don't know what the specific name of this one is.
Is that the little paw one?
No, that one I have too, but I know which one that one is. I have that one outside and it's in too big a pot.
Bear paw or something, or
Yeah, I have that one, and I have also the rabbit foot, I think it's called, and it's long and it's fuzzy, but I have it hanging and it comes down, and it has really fuzzy leaves and little purple flowers. The trouble with that one is when it dies back, it really dies back. You think there's no plant left, but it does come back. So you have to,
Oh.
when you think, oh, they're all dying, just cut it all back. It'll come back.
Also concerning the fertilizing, don't you fertilize most plants during their growing season?
Yes, yes. But you can, you know, that's usually what they recommend, more fertilizer during the growing season. But these grow most of the year, except for when we have this really heat. So I don't know. Don't over fertilize. If you think it's not necessary, then I would not give it to them, because over fertilizing kills the plant too, just like over watering. It'll burn the roots. And if they're in small pots, you know, you have to have good drainage so it drains out. But if they're in a smaller pot, you probably don't have to fertilize as often. So it's, you know, it's kind of just like watering. When it's cooler, you don't water very often at all. When it's hot, then you want to water more. Any more questions? I guess that's it. Well, whoever was it that wants to come over and get the cuttings, she can just get my information from Kitty.
Right, I'll give Eileen all your information. That is really, really kind of you, Lynn.
Well, and also, I would
our
like,
public in our club. I mean, very grateful.
well,
I put your handout in the comments section. Did everybody see that, or?
what?
I put a link to the handout in the comments section.
Oh, okay. Here's the handout. It has pictures of a bunch of the different kalanchoes, and then basically what I said today. So if you have any questions and you think, oh, did you say this or that? It's all in this handout. And I tried to get a grouping here. Here's your flapjacks. And this is, what was she asking about, the lamb's ear? I think this is the one.
Karen wanted to know about lamb's ear.
Yeah, it's right on this picture here, yeah. And
Jennifer Johnson has given me permission to call her Jen, so we know it's her, not Jennifer Luke, we're talking
okay. All right.
By the way, you all should have the ability to change your name. Paige, I know you'd said something about your name wasn't quite right. Have you tried changing your name? I think you can rename yourself in that 3 dots in the top corner. And I'm going to see if I can rename you to Jen. Oh, look at that. I can do that.
You can rename the trumpet goes back. You know, I rename me, but what happens is each time I have to rename. Every time I come back onto Zoom,
I
have
see.
to rename. Because my computer's under my old name, unless I want to transfer everything over, and I just use anyway, nice talking with you women, and I'm glad you are
Hey,
going
wait a minute. We have a man here.
You have a what?
We have a man here. We're not all women.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see him.
Well, his hair is so long, you probably couldn't tell, but the beard and the mustache might give it away.
Okay. Unless you have any more questions, I think that's it for me.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye-bye.
Thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome. I'm looking forward to having you come and we'll prune, Eileen. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you can do this, gang, because you're muted, so you can clap for her. Come on, everybody, give her a hand.
Oh, the other thing I was going to tell you is that I use the vinegar on my weeds. You know, I have weeds in the cracks of my sidewalk, and I'll pour vinegar, and they're dead the next day. I don't have Bermuda grass, so I never have tried it on that. But you want to be real careful with using the vinegar, because you're going to have the soil for a while not plantable. You want to wait a while before you replant it. With anything, if you use Roundup or if you use vinegar, because the soil maintains that and probably maintains the Roundup longer than the vinegar. So just wait a while before you replant.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
All right.
Link to the recipe in our Facebook page, I think, if you, and maybe I'll post it on our website as well, where you take vinegar and some water and some dish soap and some Epsom salts and spray your plants with it. And Eileen is
Dish soap.
tremendous good luck. Eileen, what was your recipe again?
Well, the other day I just sprayed the 45% acid vinegar. Normal household vinegar is only 3%. This is super powerful. But what I've used in the past is the vinegar, regular household vinegar, Epsom salts, and a shot of dishwashing liquid. But how long do you recommend we wait? Now I'm concerned because we wanted to start planting in October, and that's only a few weeks away.
Well, you probably would, if you wet it down, you could leach it so it would leach some of that out of there. But if you're going to use Roundup, you're going to have to wait a good month. Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, but what I was talking about the vinegar, I was talking about the vinegar that you use, the stronger vinegar, and that's what I use on my weeds. And you don't want to get that on any of your other plants. But you should be okay. If you're just using the vinegar, I think you should be okay in 3 weeks. Is that when you wanted to start planting? 3 weeks? Yeah.
Once it cools down next month.
Yeah, but I think you need to water it to make sure it leaches a little bit. You don't want any of that stuff in there because you don't want to plant something and have it, you know. Are you bringing more topsoil into?
No, we weren't going to.
Okay.
Can I say something
Yes.
about the vinegar? I would recommend a soil test before you plant because all the succulents, they don't like acid soil, and vinegar is going to make that soil very acidic.
Yes, you're right. That's a good thing. And you have the thing, I bought mine at Home Depot. You can stick in the ground and it tells you the pH.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but if you water pretty heavy, I think it would leach a lot of it out too. So that could be part of it. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Lynn. We really appreciate it.
Bye.
Thank you so much.